All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and it's a big fight week in boxing. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez all on the same card. So you know whose name has to be used to help sell the fight. And that is Gervonta Davis, as more predictable rumors swirl around the Lamont Roach rematch. Let's talk about that and the people spreading it in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the biggest name, or one of the biggest names in boxing, Gervonta Davis, who should be rematching Lamont Roach soon. Could be as early as June, might be as late as July. However, there's rumblings in the street, the gossip streets, that Gervonta Davis is not ready for Lamont Roach, needs more time, and wants to call off the fight. Another day, another dollar, another Gervonta Davis lie by the same people that lie on this dude for every single solitary fight. So, is there truth to this? According to KO Boxing, shout out to KO Boxing, it's not true. And the PBC is simply trying to come up with their schedule and putting together fight cards, and are going to announce the Gervonta Davis-Lamont Roach fight when it takes place. However, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be discussing the rumors that are going on, because in this boxing media that we have, the misinformation gets spread so fast. Any bad news about Gervonta Davis gets addressed, gets discussed, gets rejected, gets accepted every single solitary time. And what does it do? It allows the people who they're actually trying to sell to sneak their name in there so that people can pay attention to them while they dog Gervonta Davis. Now, I know this to be true because I was with a group of people called the LDBC who started doing business with Bill Haney and other people, and pretty much just started tearing Gervonta Davis down at every opportunity they could possibly have. One of the main ways that they go about that is casting doubt on every single solitary fight that he's going to have. It's amazing how many fight delays and how much problems have been reported around Gervonta Davis fighting Lamont Roach. The first time that he tried to fight Lamont Roach, even though the fight had not been announced and Gervonta Davis was releasing information about when he thought it was going to be, whether it was going to be in Houston or not, just a bunch of, commotion about it, tearing down the fight, saying that the fight was not a good fight to begin with. I'm having debates online through shadow accounts with certain people, Showbiz the Adult specifically, in my opinion, Blue Blood Sports TV, who both united in tearing down Gervonta Davis so that they could work with the agenda of Turki al-Sheikh and get those Turki al-Sheikh checks. That's what it looks like to me. And I'm going to maintain that that's the truth. And I'm going to tell people that if you hear anything from Gervonta Davis about Gervonta Davis from those people, you're going to have to look at it 3, 4, 5 times, or do it this way. Listen to what they say. Believe it's not true until it gets verified by somebody else. The amount of things that have been said by those groups of people, and not just the things that they've said, but the arguments that they make that are super biased against Gervonta Davis and meant and designed to turn people against Gervonta Davis, at the same time capitalizing on the name of Gervonta Davis. It's just been so ubiquitous in the boxing community that it's just absolutely ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. No fighter should have to go through this. But I've done my research. And people say that boxing has changed and that this is some new thing that has come up. I'm here to tell you that it is not a new thing that has come up. I've been doing a Muhammad Ali documentary, and in doing the documentary, I'm looking at a lot of the things that have been said about him, things that actually made it into autobiographies about him. that are clearly not true. Or if they are true, they are so heavily laid with the opinion of the writer that it would make you believe that something that is not true is true through their inaccurate depiction of the facts that they do have. And I could go through examples, like Sonny Liston. The way Sonny Liston is portrayed in the media at that time as being this mindless thug who was basically being led around by the nose by the mob. From what I understand, that flies in the face of the truth of people that actually know Sonny Liston, and said that that was not the case, that absolutely he did business with the mob. And yes, he did contract with this and he did contract with that, but he was not completely and totally under their thumb. The man was a very wealthy man. He was making an equivalent of $10 million a fight for like 3 fights in a row. He made a lot of money. He lived a good life. He died early from a heart attack or an overdose or whatever it had. But to display this whole man's life for years as him being nothing but a mindless thug, it's just not true. And it's not an accurate depiction of who the man is. Or the way they describe Muhammad Ali as some middle-class kid who basically, grew up with his daddy buying him ice cream and bubble gum every day is just not true. In the area that he lived in the time, his whole family was on the West End, or most of his family was on the West End of Louisville, Kentucky. And that's that's the people that he was raised around. But they'll take a fact that he lived in a bungalow type house, a nicer house in a newer type of, subdivision that they built, that means somehow that he's some just blanket soft, suburban kid. And it was just an inaccurate depiction of who the man is. And so as I read these autobiographies and I go into greater depth about what people have said about great boxers throughout history, what they're doing to Gervonta Davis is very, very, very consistent. However, it being consistent, the result is also consistent. It means usually the downfall of that particular fighter when the boxing media and the promoters have used them up. So just to watch these people ride on the back of Gervonta Davis like the way that they're riding on the back of Gervonta Davis, to me, it's just inexcusable. And it's something that has to be addressed every time they do it so that you can correct the record. And hopefully more people will listen, or enough people will get the real facts behind it. Now, as far as this particular thing with Lamont Roach, the fact of the matter is we're going to find out when that fight is finalized, when they finalize that fight. And to set up the expectation of a fight date being one date that yourself, it's a iffy date, and you just happen to hear one date that they may be thinking about, but then it moves. You don't know how many times fight dates move around before it's actually settled and announced when it's Top Rank or somebody else. But when it's the PBC, you hear every thought that they could possibly have, every venue that they may think about renting. Oh, well, they wanted to get that venue on and they changed it. Oh, they're going bankrupt. It's just absolutely ridiculous stuff. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.